multiverse of pop culture media, these are the most honest, raw, and sometimes bizarre takes.
Very poor choice of words.
Broadcasting to you from secret locations in Japan, this is the Comics Plus Podcast. Comics Plus Podcast. With the red-dreaded one, Aka-san.
Comics Plus, the podcast. Here we go. Aka-san here, joined by my good friend and emergency co-host here, Dionysus. He returns.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, it's been a while, man.
It has, man. It has.
How you been?
Man, I can't complain.
You still look dressed fancier than I ever have. It's amazing.
Bro, I'm trying to be like you, man.
No.
I'm trying to be like
No,
you.
man. So this is it. This is the first podcast I've ever done.
Right.
This is what we started in. This is a new location. I don't know if it's going to be permanent, but here we go. This is it. You know,
Man, and when you jump into the setup in the beginning, it's just do it. You know what I mean? Go through it, and then it starts to get solid. You know what I mean?
I think you're right.
It gets solid.
So it's cool. It's like, I'm sure there's going to be a few bugs. We've already had a few setup problems, but it's weird because my image of a podcast when it first started was radio only. I used to do a podcast way back in the day in Hollywood.
Oh, word?
Yes. Yeah. I used to actually, it's probably still on Podomatic.com or something like that. Yeah. And it was just playing music, doing the DJ stuff.
Okay.
I used to pay like $50 a session, and it was a whole radio show and everything.
Wow.
But then, people were just like, hey, Aka-san, you got to do a podcast now. You got to do a podcast on YouTube. And I was like, why though?
Yeah,
like,
I see.
Why would I only put audio on YouTube, right? But then slowly I started seeing it was graduating to something like more like video. Yeah. And so now podcasts, you can still listen to it on Spotify or whatever.
Right.
But now people's got like cameras and everything, and it's wild.
It's changing to, so you had like an audience and stuff? Like you had that's cool.
It was on 95.5 something. It had a 1 meter radius signal or something like that.
Man,
but
awesome.
You could also listen to it online. This was like early 2000s though.
Wow,
so
shit,
like that idea, I was in there, dude. Like it was crazy. But it was even when training, they were showing us like Howard Stern and how he changed the entire industry of radio and how he he went to Sirius radio.
Did he? I did.
Yeah.
When he was on the TV on the channel.
So his whole thing was he was radio.
Oh yeah.
But the FCC and the broadcast stuff, it was just too much. He kept on pushing the envelope and everything, and then he left terrestrial radio to jump to something called satellite radio.
I remember Sirius,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then Sirius also had a competitor, XM.
XM, yes.
And then later, Sirius acquired XM, and it became Sirius XM.
Okay.
So, but Howard Stern revolutionized all of that. Terrestrial radio is essentially dead in some sense now because satellite radio has sort of taken over. You got CD quality and all this other stuff. But
so he was like the first one to really do it with the video, like with the, you know what I mean?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know if he's he might have been one of the first to really record snippets of it and put it, because he also had a TV show as well. So
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
He had a whole TV show, so he was recording his radio show.
Okay.
But I noticed that podcasting graduated to video stuff. The like YouTubers have been doing it in Japan, out of Japan, everything like that. So it's weird. So it was weird for me to come in here. I had the audio set up, but I had to figure out about lighting and cameras. Like we got 2 cameras in here, and then later when our guest arrives, I got to set up another camera that, and we got to move some furniture around. But yeah, so that's the behind the scenes of how this goes.
Man, hey, bro, you know what? Like, so I'm hearing you say this, and when we started doing the one in the previous location, it was just like that. Like we had to. It was always it was fluid. It was never locked, and then eventually it got to be really solid. And then it was gone. So, yeah.
And you know what? Funniest thing is, I just did not hit the record button on this part.
Oh, okay.
But it's okay. We're going. That was an okay. Like
good
podcast wise, we still have the camera. No, we still have camera work. So now it sounds really good.
Okay.
Now it sounds.
There we go. Hey, you know what? Hey, remember we did the same thing when you came to the same thing happens. We forget to.
Well, we're talking about it, and I'm just like, okay, I'm like, gotta make sure is my cameras on or my camera things on, and then I just realized, oh, I never even hit the record button on the microphone part of it. So, so apologies for you listening at home. Now it sounds much better. People are gonna be like, "Damn, you spent all this money and it still sounds like shit."
No, it's
but now it's much better. Now, so welcome.
So we were not recording.
We were recording. We got audio from the cameras.
See, okay.
So we can use the camera audio, but that's about it. So
I get it.
That's
funny.
funny.
We once did it. We went through the whole show, and at the end, we had no sound, and it wasn't even plugged in the back. Like, you know, the
no, because it's funny because you always need to have like making sure, okay, that camera is recording, that camera's recording, and then I was so used to being a YouTuber, I'm so used to looking at the cameras that I didn't even think about the sound recording.
Is it? Man.
So now we're good. Now we're good. Now we are beginning. Now we are beginning the official podcast. It begins now.
Sweet.
Yeah. So here we are.
Teaser before
that is the teaser. That's what YouTube is getting before. All right, we gotta get into this. I wanted to see how we're gonna do this. We'll probably chat for about 30 something minutes, talk about comics, what have you not, and then move on into our special guests where we'll be interviewing them and getting this done. But you know, I wanted. Some might ask me why.
Well, that's what I was, because you just went into the talking about, like, you've been doing this since early 2000s, man. So it's kind of like, why? You know, I know you was popping with the reactions and things.
Right.
But why get into podcasting now? Like, what made you? You know, it's time.
You know, people were asking me for the longest time, and like I just didn't understand it. I was like, look, why would I record audio only if I'm on YouTube all the time? Who's gonna sit there on YouTube and just listen to me, right?
Right.
And then I started realizing that these people are also recording at the same time, right? But one of the main reasons, it's because of Corona. To be honest.
Okay.
Because of Corona. Because the last 2 years, I haven't been able to go back home. And the reason,
shit,
so that means I haven't been able to do my interviews for Warner Brothers and all those other people. When I would go to the anime conventions or comic book conventions, I haven't had that opportunity to go out and interview the voiceover people, the seiyuu, voice actors. Right. I was always thinking in Japanese.
That's how you live in Japan too long when you start replacing your English with Japanese.
Yeah, seiyuu is Japanese for voice actors. So I haven't been able to interview anybody.
Do they even do Comic-Con? Do they still even?
They are gradually trying to bring it back in, but the press has been very benign and just like so little because it's too dangerous at this
that's a
moment
lot,
in time.
Of people, man.
So they haven't really been doing a lot of those press tours anymore, so I haven't been asked to do much, only on Zoom and things like that. Like I have something lined up for this real popular anime coming out into America, but I was just like, man, like, you know, I got to do something here. Like, I still got to be able to flex that sort of interviewing talent. And a lot of the foreigners are going back home on top of that. But it's actually, ironically, someone I met at your party who will be a special guest down the line. You had a mixer.
That's right.
As part of your studio thing, Star Disc Studios.
Yes. By the way.
Yeah,
that's the name. I'm not gonna. We'll save it for later.
It's a funny story, but when we get them into the room, when I get them into the show, I'll talk about it, the whole situation. But I met him, and it was just one of those things of like I needed to interview him because he had such a unique story. But I didn't know, like, originally we're gonna film it as this one particular place, but it just started graduating more into like, I got a lot of people that would kind of want to be interviewed. Even at the Halloween party, I was kind of interviewing people, right? And so I just felt like, okay, I just got to start making this like a weekly thing. I got to get this rolling out here, and I have all the equipment to do it.
Indeed.
Why not?
Why not, man? And that's it. Like that first step goes into it, and then after that, it's like a snowball going down the hill. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So Dionysus.
Yes, sir.
What have you been up to recently?
Oh man, what have I not been up to? It's more like a question, homie. No, man. Actually, I'm like. This is what I say. We have these ups and downs, and I'm coming out of a down. Okay. Right, so it's going back up, and it's getting good, actually. We just, hey, man, remember that thing I invited you to? You couldn't make it, but the model thing.
Right. Bro, last Thursday or so.
Yeah. You know what that was?
What was
that? A&E, the television network.
Okay.
They do Lifetime, History Channel.
Yeah.
There's A&E Japan.
Yeah.
And they needed to shoot they want to shoot a documentary to show that Japan is still viable for business. So.
Yeah. Sorry. You only know that joke if you live here. Yeah. Viable for business. Not even viable for the people living here.
That's true.
Yeah.
True story. So it was actually a government job. The government contacted A&E. A&E flipped out and was like, who do we get? And then they chose several like model agencies. One was Aqua Model, and the other, my company, Stardust Studios. Yep. And so we got like 18 people, bro. And I was like, we got 18 people. It was a huge. It was in Hot Boy, and it was this huge space. It's good. It's gonna be on the television network. So we're gonna be working with them a little bit more.
So why are they trying to like what do models have to do with Japan being a viable business?
Good question.
Yeah.
Good question. So what they wanted models and actors to be like, I guess you could say like background people. So they did it was a show. Some people came to, it was supposed to be that some business people came to Japan, and while they were here, they experienced Japan. They got on a boat. They went to like, these events, and at the end of their business trip, the story says that they went to a gala and they needed to fill up the room. So they got aqua models, and they did just people, wearing suits and stuff, or kind of business casual. And so that's what we're doing. We filled it up. We got 18 people.
That's kind of cool.
More than aqua model. Yeah. So that's my thing, man.
Do you think Japan is a viable business? Because that's been the biggest issue recently, because Japan has been closed for over 2 years.
Right.
Which is actually kind of interesting. The guest that we have coming in later today is kind of infamous or famous for traveling around Japan in the middle of a pandemic, you know? So that makes it kind of interesting to talk to him about that a little later. But, Japan's been closed. The borders have been closed for over 2 years. So, I mean, I know I'm feeling it. Like, I'm not.
So is Japan viable for business?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I sometimes Japan's been closed for like 2 years now. So it's like the borders have been shut down. They finally, it was like this month. Yeah. A lot of like the Fortune 500 companies, all the CEOs were kind of getting together, and they're like, yo, Japan, you need to do something. Like, they started pressuring the government leaders to do something, because this was not going to be working out in the long run, And
that's why they approached A&E. Like, it was a government job. They was like, we got to, like you say, people got on them. So, but I think, man, it's if they open the borders, you know what I mean? If they
But I guess that's the argument here, is because like I have this argument with Japanese people all the time. It's like one of my students was like hella getting mad at me and like sweating up a storm.
Really?
Like, he was like, so you mean to tell me that you can allow more, if you think it's okay to allow foreigners into Japan? And I was like, oh, this sounded kind of pseudo nationalistic here. But
you get out and leave in the black van. This dude, man.
No, but like I kind of got his point, because his whole thing was like, the majority of Japan is not like Tokyo,
right?
And the majority of Japan is not like Osaka or Fukuoka or anything like that. It's a bunch of country areas that have never really interacted with foreigners, and so for them, it's not necessarily xenophobic as it is just not knowing and not seeing the impact of not having tourism,
Right.
not having businesses open. Like we were just talking about it today. Like a lot of the shops that we walk by today, they closed.
That's right.
They gone.
Fuck, Don Quixote is closed in Shibuya. Like that was the reason I came to Shibuya.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
closed.
So it's a thing of like, yes, the numbers are really high in Japan,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, well, you've been closed Japan for 2 years. The numbers are high in Japan. It's not because of the foreigners,
Right,
because
yeah.
you haven't let them in.
That's
You
right.
know.
Yeah.
So bringing
Yeah,
them
that's a good
in,
point.
probably won't have that big of a difference.
True.
So I don't know.
Man, it's crazy that it's been 2 years.
Yep.
Does
It's
it
crazy.
feel? Do you feel like it's 2 years?
It has for me.
Really?
You know why? Because of the fact that I'll never forget the day that I was about to set up a Comics Plus YouTube rental studio for all the like Twitch people, YouTube people.
okay.
I was gonna have like a hub in Shibuya for people that are walking around doing something called IRL in real life. Like when they're tired, they can come in, revamp, charge their batteries, all that, but also get interviewed by me for YouTube or something like that, and then they go along their merry way.
Yeah.
I was gonna start this rental studio place, and I literally found a spot,
Yeah.
and I was about to sign that contract, and literally that same day, I was streaming when it happened. Abe, former Prime Minister Abe, shut down the schools.
Whoa.
And that was the first time we went. That was when we went into that pseudo lockdown.
Oh yeah, when English Village started making us work from
Yep,
home.
yep.
That
That was it. When everybody was like, "Yo, let's they're handing out newspapers and saying out schools are closed starting this Monday,
Yeah,
and that was the
yeah.
beginning of the state of emergency."
Wow. That's so. It's good that you didn't sign that.
Yeah,
Then, right?
yeah.
Man.
I was gonna be paying like $1,000 a month for that
Sheesh.
place, which I still feel like I could have made something out of it.
Yeah.
But those first
you-
first 6 months would have been terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been terrible. So it feels like it's been a long time because ever since then I'm still partially renting places.
I
You know,
see.
And I'm
Yeah, yeah. You
partially renting places, setting things up, and
Right.
having a studio every time from a different place.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's good. But hey, but I applaud you, man, because like you're doing it. Like you know how many people won't because like
Yeah.
shit, I better not do
No,
anything.
you're right, you're
so
right.
you're man. That's it. If you continue to do something, you are successful. That is the definition of success.
appreciate
right? So
that.
It's good.
When
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
I was gonna hire when I was hiring the guy to do my intro, the radio intro and everything. One of the pitches that I was thinking about sending him was gonna be like, coming to you from a different studio every time, every time.
So make it work for you, then.
Yeah, exactly
That's
right.
cool.
From a different studio every time you air, like that. I thought about that could be the intro right there, but then I was like, it's gonna suck because I'm gonna have to pay for a new intro when I finally find a
find a
grounded
place, yeah.
spot. Yeah. So
That's cool.
that's that.
Yeah. So what's like any so the podcast is on. You're
This
definitely
is
gonna
So
okay.
in general, the idea is like, okay, not just Japan stuff. Like I usually would save that for the people that I'll probably interview because I feel like a lot of them are going to be Japan focused like that. But the just for you and me are just in the first hour or so.
Yeah.
It's talking about them comics and
Right.
such. So
That's cool.
I guess that's what let's switch back into that now.
Yeah. Cool.
So the comics talk part of this segment here. Down Isis, what have you been doing recently? What have you been watching recently?
Man, it's funny. I was really debating getting on. Those CBR, the comic book readers. I was gonna start going into Legends of Legions.
When you said CBR, I legit my mind went to CBD.
BD.
Yeah, I was like, are you getting high reading these comics? Like what?
Well, yeah, but I was gonna get back on what is it? Legion, the Legion of the Superman. You remember he joined?
Legion of Superheroes.
Legion of Superheroes. Yes,
Yeah.
but I haven't done it yet. But no, man, I just finished Titans.
Season 3.
Season 3.
How did you feel about it?
I actually really fucking liked it. I found that I didn't remember half of what was going on in the other ones, and I was like, "Yo," I just remember they stumped Batman out like at the end of season 2. And I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And then so then they got the next. I'm happy that, cause man, I'm on the Superman side. So I was
Right,
like, they gave Connell, they gave him some play. They let him get in the.
Got you. Have you been watching Superman and Lois still?
Yeah, with the twin, with the
Jonathan and Jonah.
But that's finished, right? That the season.
No, it's still going.
Where did I leave off at? They beat the guy, the Zod.
His brother, half brother.
Yeah. So that's the only that and Boba Fett. Yeah, I'm into that. Well, how about yourself, man? You
Well, see, that's what I envy about. That's kind of what I envy about you is the fact that you don't live by any sort of TV schedule. You're not dictated. Like literally, like sometimes I have to cancel dates or certain things because I'm like, I'll be like, they're like, what are you doing Wednesday? Oh, Wednesday, 5:00. Oh, that's when the Book of Boba drops. I need to actually watch it and record it and edit it and upload it by midnight, right? And so, like, it's kind of that. Like, I envy that about you is the fact that the Book of Boba Fett has been over for like 2 weeks.
Shit.
Yep.
I'm thinking like,
the talk. Nope, the talk has been done about that, but you're just getting on that.
Bro, Luke and Grogu. Get the fuck out of here, bro! I couldn't get enough of it. Like, he's like, the galaxy's a dangerous place, Grogu. I'm like, yeah.
Like, seriously, like, I literally had to travel to the ends of the earth to go see No Way Home on time because I was going to get spoiled otherwise. So I kind of envy people that can, like, watch things at their own pace and not get spoiled because it is hard. Like, even Batman is next week. Batman's coming out next week in the States, but for us, it comes out a week later. So, but I just don't feel like going to the ends of the earth to watch this movie on time at a military base or something like that. Especially given that the screens are so dark. I don't want to go to the military base this particular time because when I watched No Way Home on base. Yo, did you see the movie yet?
I haven't seen it, man.
Oh my god,
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No.
Do you even know what happens in that movie?
I know he can't get home. I guess that's the. I don't know. No.
So you don't even know anything else?
No, man. I've been slacking on my theater game, bro. No, I haven't.
I envy you so much that you can like literally you're living under some sort of metaphorical rock for reals, dude. Like,
bro, you know all this shit.
So you have no idea like what the big thing is that happens with this movie. Do you even know who's in the movie?
I think Strange is in it.
Yes.
And there's something about is he trying to redo something?
Right.
Okay. And that's all I got.
Now, did you see Spider-Man Far From Home?
Yeah, I did. They were in London, right? And Mysterio and yeah.
Yo, that is amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I literally had to rip the internet cord from my computer as to not get spoiled by this movie.
Oh, I see.
It's some huge stuff.
That's my homework tonight. I can probably, you know what? I can get on.
It's Spider-Man. SpiderMan No Way Home is now available on digital for you to check out. If you've been it's literally like the number 3 movie of all time now in terms of sales. Yeah.
Word? Hey. Man, this is news to me.
Okay, so what does...
Next you're going to be saying Russia's invading Ukraine or something.
Oh. About that, did you see the trailer for Doctor Strange 2?
I did not. I did take oh, wait. No, I heard that. I just saw the words, but I didn't see the trailer for it.
You saw the words to the trailer, but did you...
sometimes they say Doctor Strange Part 2, like an advertisement for the posters.
Okay, so I am curious because I think you're the least comics tuned person of the Comics Plus crew.
Yeah.
I am kind of curious. So what does because it's really hard for me to imagine that somebody would not know about No Way Home, but that's because that's part of the world that I'm in.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for me to not talk about the Batman for a week. I'm gonna literally not. I can't even stream or do anything on YouTube. I'm probably just gonna sit home and play Elden Ring for like a week. And
you're doing this to not spoil.
Yeah, so I don't get spoiled because I want to
have a genuine reaction to it.
Yeah, and sometimes I record it and put it on Patreon.
Okay.
But so I want to know. So what do you do like otherwise.
Man, be honest, bro. I got a company. The company is my focus, and so when that shit went down, that last shit that happened. So my whole thing is like, I gotta get it set up. There's people that are dependent on me to get things paid and stuff like this. So it's just, I remember Spider-Man coming out, and I remember thinking, damn, I would like to see that, but I don't have the bandwidth to do it right now. And it's like,
so it's just priorities.
It's
then,
just
right?
priorities, man. But I'm interested. You
No,
know,
I'm just curious because I was just wondering, is there just something else that, like, you know, if you're out there getting pussy or something,
I'm trying to, like, it's a corporation, man, and you know the government give out monies to corporations.
No,
so,
you're right. You're right.
So
right.
I'm just trying to hook things up.
That's your thing. That's your main focus. Because the same thing with my girlfriend. Like, she doesn't care about, like, I'll be like, oh babe, No Way Home. She's like, oh, whatever.
Right.
Like, you know.
No, I'm not like that. I'm not
No. But I'm just curious, like, what people in my world, what my friends in my demographic, what if you're not into this kind of pop culture stuff, what else could you possibly be doing?
I see. Well, you know what the thing is, man? That's a good point. The thing is, like, it's funny because when you say that, I'm like, dang, man, because I consider myself to be a comic buff. Right. You would be like, more like comic fluff, right? You know? No. But because I got like stacks of comics at home, and then they weren't lying when they said you start a company, that shit takes over your life, man.
It does.
That's what it is, and so it's just kind of like, dang.
Maybe that's what it is because of the fact that my passion or my hobbies have become the business with YouTube. Right. That's why, if anything, so for me, if anything, it's actually more tiring. Like, I just cannot. Like, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh my God. So now I need to be excited over this thing.
Yes.
Now I need to be excited over that thing. Like, you know, people want to know my reaction to something. And, like, there's a whole list of different things.
Wow.
And I'm just like, yo, I just do not have the energy in my body to be excited about all of these things, you know? And then when I'm not excited about something, then they're just like, oh, man, you've changed. I'm like, no, I haven't changed. I just don't care that much. Like, Peacemaker is a good example. Peacemaker, I from the beginning, I saw the trailer. It looked ridiculous to me. It didn't look funny. It wasn't for me. And I told people I'm probably not going to watch it. People were just like, yo, watch it. Come on, man. You got to watch it. It's so funny. Oh, my God. I watched it, and it was like pulling teeth for me. Like, it was so ridiculously deadpan, corny. For me.
Okay.
For me. And I recognize that there's an audience for it.
Yeah.
But I've always been honest about this. Is the fact that it's not for me.
And I think that's fair, man. Because I remember what let me know, because I didn't know the dynamic of it. And I remember remember Detective Pikachu when that came out, and you were like, and I was like, why? And I was like, why is he even doing this? But there was people that wanted you to do it. So, but to everybody that's watching, man, the guy is doing his best, man. And so, like, give him a break.
It's this very specific thing. People are like, oh, Akasan, you don't like things that are funny. I'm like, I like things that I find things that are funny. It's just that this isn't funny to me. There's a fucking difference about that. It's like, it may not be fun. It might be fun. Fart jokes for fucking 5 minutes may be funny to you, but that's just normal life for me. Not farting for 5 minutes, but you know what I mean. So it's just like, you know, it's just like, I don't get that. And particularly with Peacemaker, they start aligning me with the Snyder Bros, and that's a whole other situation.
I remember
the Snyder Bros and the Snyder Cut.
Hey, so man, I realized that I may have lost a little bit of credit in your eyes, Akasan.
But not at all. Not at all. No, it's intriguing to me.
If I haven't lost enough already, I'm definitely gonna lose some right now, because I'm gonna ask, what is Peacemaker?
But it's okay. It's honestly okay, because I don't expect the average person to know about this stuff. I don't expect the average person to care. So Peacemaker is a spin-off show from the Suicide Squad.
I started. It's the
John Cena.
Yeah. I started watching that, and that shit. I started watching that. I didn't know what that was, and I was like, okay, let's see what this is. And because he referenced somebody in the car when they were driving, and at first he referenced somebody like
maybe
Deadpool
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, okay, so it is DC related.
Yes.
Let me keep watching it. But that shit sucks, man. I look, hey, you know what? I'll tell you what. I watch a show to its entirety. I rarely will say I'm not gonna watch it.
Right.
But that one, I was like, man, I ain't getting even through the first episode. He got into like, I don't know, something in a police office or something. I forgot.
Yeah, right? No. And my friend turned it off like 5 minutes into it, but for other reasons. He was just like, but...
Is it low budget?
It feels like that.
Yeah.
Right? It feels like that, but it's not. It's actually a pretty big budget, and it's James Gunn, the guy who directed The Suicide Squad and the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He actually, that's his story right there. And so I'm shocked sometimes that it was dry. It was really hard to really get into. So for me personally, it wasn't for me, but I appreciate the fact that people are into it. Like, it's fine. Not all of us.
So people actually like it.
Allegedly, it's one of the highest rated shows in the world, even though it's only shown in America on HBO Max and some other territories. But, like, spin it however you want.
Right.
People are watching.
Okay.
I particularly put on my conspiracy brother hat with the idea of every time I went to the YouTube channels and people promoting that, I saw massive bot accounts doing the same thing. Every time I went to one of those promotional like videos or something that were talking about Peacemaker, I started seeing different accounts, but the same or very similar comments.
Okay. Oh.
So it wasn't what they were saying, it's how they were saying it. And they were like, man, James Gunn is a genius. Oh, I'm never going to pause this video. And then a few clicks down, I would see the same comment just worded a little bit differently. And I'm like, this is weird. So
you think they were trying to like boost it up?
I mean, it's not, I wouldn't put it past them. Because Warner Brothers has been fighting the Snyder Bros for years now, so they probably learned some tricks of the trade in terms of like how to go around botting things to make it more popular. Right. But at the end of the day, look, it's going to get a season 2. There's an audience that is interested in it. There's an audience that's interested in making Aquaman fish sex jokes.
I saw that. Somebody, what the hell?
It was probably me.
Oh, it was right. It was on Instagram.
No, it was probably me. So, like Jason Momoa was fine with the joke, apparently.
Yeah. He laughed it off. Right?
He laughed it off, but I'm just like, as much work as James Wan and even Jeff Johns to some extent, Zack Snyder have done over the last couple of years to make Aquaman a badass.
Yeah.
Instead of making gay fish sex jokes, sex jokes, instead of making him the butt of the Justice League. Yeah. They've been able to turn Aquaman into a legitimate billion-dollar badass.
That's right.
To just go back to that sort of juvenile thing of making it imply that he's having sex with fish. I'm like, come on, man.
Hey, remember there was a dude in The Boys?
Yep.
They was always talking about screwing the girls. And
because that was a direct parody of Aquaman. And that's what Aquaman used to be, the joke of the Justice League.
That's right.
That he talks to fish and things like that. So I would low-key was offended over that. I was like, wow, are we just going to go backwards now? This is outside of Batman, this is the only billion-dollar property you have right now, DC, and like you're gonna screw this up. Okay, good job there. So personally, I took offense to it, but like if Jason's cool with it, then I don't care, man. It's fine, That's that.
Yeah, because the Aquaman was fucking great, man.
Aquaman was so good.
Yeah.
Now the only issue is like the sequel is coming, but the problem is they got Mera coming back. So the woman who plays the redheaded girl, but since you're not really tapped into all this, like there's so much controversy behind that.
They don't want Mera back?
Because people prefer that she doesn't come back because of her situations with Johnny Depp, actually. So there's been this whole thing is like, look, so her and Johnny Depp used to be married or something like that, and they had this whole back and forth DV, domestic violence situation, and the whole thing was Johnny
bitten the hands on her.
No, but that was the thing. that was the thing. It seemed all looked like he was the one doing the abusing the entire time, right? And so he ended up getting fired from Fantastic Beast 3.
What?
Yeah. So he got fired, and the guy who does Hannibal replaced him.
What?
But the thing is, more evidence started coming out that it was a back and forth thing Amber sliced Johnny Depp's finger.
Sheesh.
It literally shows them, and they got her caught in 4K, audio 4K, admitting about how I'm gonna beat you up and and nobody's gonna believe you. I'll be able to take you down. And so it's one thing now. Fantastic Beasts, a WB property. Aquaman, a WB property. How come only one person gets fired and the other is still around that? Because Warner Brothers doesn't want to be the person to essentially fire a woman.
That's right.
I
see, because they get some backlash for that too.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that's an interesting thing. But they easily fired Johnny Depp from this situation. So people have been about this whole justice for Johnny situation, and I get it. I totally get it. But
they fucking up the shit in the process though.
Yeah, and that's hard. But I don't know. We'll see what happens in the near future. So we'll see.
Wow.
So, but it's okay. You'll be able to catch up on all this a year from now.
You're right. I'll be like, yo, you see that? Hey, you that Fantastic Beast too? Yo,
I can't wait to see what's up with Johnny Depp in the next movie. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it was nice catching up with the Dionysus here. Make sure you check out his social media as well, and he's gonna help me out with this interview. We're gonna take a break, and we'll be back after these commercial words.